Hello guys, this is the Phantom speaking, and today I'm going to do something different. As you know, I have a project of making an ambient lute album, and sorry if you see me in the worst quality. I may remove that webcam recording in the post process because it's not that good. But anyway, I tried my best to record this thing. And as I had the project of recording an ambient lute album in 6 weeks, and 6 weeks are down, and I recorded 5 tracks in different moods and contexts, I'm going to design a cover art for the whole album, and I'm using Adobe Photoshop. Later, I should say later. Anyway, I'm not native English speaker, so sorry for the bad usage of words. Previously I used the application called GIMP, which is a free and free to use application, of course, to create my cover arts or creating my fast edits on photos. But as I moved my whole basement on Windows on this laptop, yes, I have 2 laptops and both of them running Windows, and I don't use Linux anymore except for some coding and programming usages. I decided to go for using a much more powerful tool called Photoshop. Photoshop is expensive, I know. It's for professional photographers, for professional photo editors, but hey, it also works for people like me. As I started making games, I really enjoy using professional tools to make my games look professional. Okay, I found this Lutenist clip art on the web. It's a royalty free image, and you can get that on kelker.com, which is CLKER.com. And that's a good website for finding this type of images, and I used that for a long time to find all the symbols and clip arts I needed. So I found this, and she really looks like a Native American lute player. But is there any lute type of instrument in the continent of America? I don't think so. But the person who designed this clip art was a genius in painting, designing, and drawing. And I appreciate that because I have my material for making my very own cover art out of that. So I created an empty white layer of 1500 by 1500 in Photoshop, and I have only one layer of the background, and I'm going to add another layer. Let me call this layer the lutenist figure. Okay, this is for the future usage. I'm going to resize and rearrange this thing. So I cut this. Could not use move tool because no layers are selected. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. It wasn't that bad in the ages back. Let me select this type of selection tools on the layer. Okay. Oh, no, it's cut. Let's continue our designing process. I click on the screen and I choose this layer. I want my lutenist figure to be in this layer. It's really a bit more professional. And if you wonder why I don't wear headphones, because my room is now quiet and there is no noise, And a while back I got serious problems in my ears, so I don't wear headphones unless I want to do something with sound. So not YouTube at all without headphones. Okay, I just pasted hair here and let's rearrange the size. Make it a bit, make her a bit bigger. And you know, as it has some hand drawing effect on that, she really doesn't look so bad. I don't know why the damn thing doesn't move at all. Should I? Oh, I should have pressed the control button and put her here. And should I do something in the background? I don't know. Maybe a gradient effect works so well here. And at the end of the process, I'm going to merge all the layers in one layer and invert the colors. You know, working on a white background helps me find what I want much better. Okay, in the gradient, so I have the color here. Should I choose a color? You know, the gradient works like this, and it really applies a spectrum from the foreground color to the background color. So for my foreground color, I'm going to choose some sort of dark blue. And for my background color, I'm going to choose some yellowish color here. And you can find how cool it looks. Okay, I'm on the gradient part. And let's apply that. Okay, this is how gradient effect works. And if I invert that, you know, that really doesn't look quite cool as I wanted. And you know, I can even choose some sort of blackish or grayish color. And for my background, some light gray, which I think is much better than what I wanted. And like this. Okay. No, that's really something I wanted. But let's play a bit with these colors, and yes, this is exactly what I wanted. And now I called my art project ambient lute project and the album ambient lute album, or the ambient lute project as well. So let's add some fonts here. I've got some cool English fonts here. You know, I don't type so much because, you know, I'm not some sort of reporter or journalist, if you are wondering. Uh, the only thing I type a lot is code. And these are Persian fonts I use for my typing reports and researches. If people really force me to type. And this Hebrew font, I think, is installed with Photoshop, or oh, I'm not going to type in Hebrew. I really don't know the language of Hebrew, so I'm not going to use a Hebrew font because I don't know Hebrew and I really don't know how uh, the letters sound in that language. You know, the funny thing is, Hebrew is like Persian and Arabic, written right to left, in case you didn't know. I really like this font called Lucky Cola. And let's type. Oh, what the hell? What the actual hell? This is the color of text. And let me make it a bit bigger. Ambient lute project. Let's move the layer a bit up. And why it really type this like that way? Oh, okay. Let me delete this layer. Yeah. Ambient lute project. I know this is not that professional, so my flow designers don't really blame me for less than epic cover art, but this is the actual things I could do. So let's invert the colors of this Woman. Yeah, that really looks cool. Again, in the gradient effect, in the background, of course, there is the advantage of using layer software like Photoshop or layered software like Photoshop, which really helps you with the tools you are going to use or something like that. Okay. Let's my background be a bit orangish or even bluish or greenish. I don't know, but sorry. This is why I claim that I'm not a designer, and yes, it's kind of true. I even suck at design. Ambient lute project. Okay. Let me even make it bigger. The 72 points is the biggest Photoshop provides by default, but I can type 100 points here, for example. And if you experience some sort of lag in the video, it's only because my freaking computer is going too slow. I don't know. I expected 16 freaking gigabytes of RAM to be much better than this. Let's do something to the gradient. I'm going to add even some white and red gradient over this gradienty tool. Oh no, that's not gonna work. Yes, that's not gonna work. So I make a new layer, helping color, I would call that, and yeah, let's make it like that with opacity of 50, so you can watch how my background went. And here I'm going to add some layers first for brightness and contrast. If I make it darker and with more contrast, it looks warmer. And of course, I need to recolor this text to the white text. What the hell? When I don't carefully use tools, it happens to me much. That much. Okay, so let's... If I invert the colors, you can see how beautiful it got. And even if I invert the background color, I get this type of bluish color. So it's the time. Let's make it the clipping mask or something to the lutenist figure here. And I'm also going to create another layer called levels. And here I raise the dark spots and make it something like this. And then there is a hue saturation thing which really help us colorize more and more to our layers, add some colorizations. And yes, it really makes everything warmer. And in this helping color layer, which really looks so beautiful, I'm going to add the same thing, hue saturation, and I'm going to add more blue to it and more saturated, make it more saturated with a bit of darkness. So my lutenist figure, no thanks, my lutenist figure looks much more beautiful. And let's do same thing to the background with hue saturation. I'm going to add more red to that with more saturation, but let's do this in opposite direction and add more green to that with a bit of brightness. So I've got this type of cover photo. I hope you enjoy that. And of course, I'm really appreciate if you like, share and subscribe and leave a comment of what you expect this project to be. And of course, for later projects of ambient music or even in general music genres you want me to play, or if you want to challenge me, I will appreciate that. Till the next time, goodbye.